Gary, what was it like to go and have a Saturday off? I mean, did it seem a bit weird, and how does it disrupt the preparations for Eastleigh's game?
Um, it does seem it is strange to have a Saturday off, that's for sure. And I got in my little hub at home and had a computer on and my iPad on and the Sky Sports on and the radio, by the way. um, just listening to everything coming in, really. I even listened to somebody spotted me at the Nottingham Forest Bristol City game and was adamant that I was there, and my wife can vouch for me that I was sitting right next to her. We had a little smile over that, but yeah, and I don't think it'll affect us for Saturday. I think it's been a good thing for us because we'd have had, I think if we'd have played Saturday, we might have had two or three that were struggling a little bit injury-wise, and those little knocks have cleared up now, so it's been good for us to have those extra few days.
Was there a wry smile? I don't know if you were following the Forest Green game, but obviously it means that you are still top.
I was following both Forest, Forest Green and Nottingham Forest, and of course, I'm a follower of all of it really. I'm always interested in what's going on, and of course, as the scores come through on the telly printer, everything's got a meaning, sort of thing, and some with a bit more meaning than others. And of course, it was good for us from a rival point of view that Borough came back from 2-0 down, and we knew there'd be a difficult game. That'd be a difficult game up there. But both teams got difficult games coming up. We've got very similar games coming up, and so there's still a long way to go, but it's getting less and less. So from our point of view, it was a good result, as they would have seen our result against Gateshead as a good result for them.
Is there ever a thought of, I really want this season now to kind of get to an end? You know, when you've been on the top, or at least always vying for that top spot for so many games, do you want it to come to an end to make sure that you can stay top and keep that move back up?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, well, if the season finished tomorrow, we'd win the league, wouldn't we? We'd be top of the league. Well, not tomorrow, but today. We've got this game tomorrow, of course. But you don't wish your life away, of course. And in football, you know you've got to go 46 games. I've had it for the last 25 years. So you just got to be calm. You've got to do your job, and every day you've got to be planning for what you need to be doing for the next game. And really, that's as far as your focus has got to be, because otherwise you're dreaming, guessing, worrying. You know what I mean? So you can only deal with what you can deal with immediately, and for us, that's making sure that we've got everybody fit, we got them looking forward to it, we got them with their legs, we got them with their tactics, and that's all you can do really at this moment, and that's my whole schedule is towards the next game.
When you look at Eastleigh's recent run of form, hasn't been brilliant. Does that give you an added confidence, or do you just ignore it?
I think you've got to be careful, because they're a good team on paper. They're one of the strongest teams in a division. Everybody will tell you that. And if we go there expecting them not to turn up, and their good players not to turn up, then you could get a rude awakening. So we've got to make sure that we go down there. No teams as good as Eastleigh have too many games where they're underperforming. So we've got to make sure that the day is not the day against us where they do perform. So we've got to go there. We've got to be confident, of course, because we haven't lost many this year, and so that gives us that confidence. I think the boys were a bit disappointed with our Gateshead performance, and these lads are very good at putting something back into the team that they may have lacked the week previous. They're very, very good at that. So hopefully we'll sort that out, but we mustn't feel that Eastleigh are a poor side just because they're on a good run.
Yeah, I think you did.
Bad run, sorry.
I think you did quite a bit of lumping around a week ago. So, you know, have you tried to work on something specifically so it's not just, you know, ball being tonked from one end to the other all the time?
Well, I don't think it was that. Was you at the game?
I wasn't.
Oh, there you go.
I heard you afterwards.
Well, be careful when you say words like lumping and all that, and you ain't at the game. Who told you that?
I think I heard you say something along those lines.
Yeah. You might have done. But I'd rather me say it than you say it. The game wasn't as good as we would have liked. Not quite our game. And if we don't play our game, then of course it gives opposition an opportunity. There's other factors that you don't say straight after the game because you don't want to make excuses for your lads. But there was things that didn't quite go for us on the day, and we didn't get our game going. So I'd rather say that than, because the lads are not trying to lump it all the time. You know, of course they're not. But listen, if you was playing on a quagmire or on a beach, you wouldn't use the surface, would you? To be honest, you know, and really that's a little bit what both teams had to do, because the ball was like Sally Gunner, it was hurtling across the pitch all over the place, like, you know. Sally Gunner, is that right? She's hurdling, isn't she?
She was, yes.
So the ball rolls and bobs and then rolls and bobs, and just to explain to you. And so therefore you have to use a different type of ball. But we sort of took that to a little bit of an extreme.
And do you think that the pressure is almost mounting now? 22 games unbeaten. Is there almost now more pressure to make sure that you don't end that unbeaten run? Does that then start to get into the back of people's minds?
Bloody hell, has he been sent in by Forest Green? No, it don't. You just put it in my mind. No, it doesn't at all. You've got to, once that game's finished, the last game, the new game, we always make sure we come into this room, we show them the video, we talk about it, they discuss it, we discuss it. So we always put a big full stop by the side of it once we've had that meeting, and then we're just preparing for the next one, and that's what you have to do. Otherwise things stay with you. It's a little bit of a monkey on your back sometimes. If you keep it in, we got to let it out, and we have days where, you know, there could be 22 people fighting in here, but by the time we go out of this door, we've all forgotten about it and all best of friends again, and we know where we're going. So no, the confidence won't drain from these boys, and if it doesn't, and we keep going, then obviously we've got a good chance as any to get our promotion.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
How quickly was that full stop put on after the Gateshead game? Was it the training session afterwards?
Yeah, it was a training session afterwards. We I don't think the boys won't mind me giving you the secrets, where we came in and I put the defenders together, the forwards together and the midfielders together, and asked them what they think that they might have done better, even the lads that didn't play. You know, Downsy was in with the defenders, Pelly with the midfielders, and Moggs in with the forwards. And then, what did you think you could have done better? And what do you think you needed from the other parts of the team? And it's amazing how it all then sort of like mixes and matches, and it all comes to the same. Yeah, we didn't play very well, but we could have done with this. And from the forwards, and the forwards say we should have done this for them. And it just, when I leave this room and the lads leave this room, we all knew that we're not cheating ourselves, we're not kidding ourselves. We knew what we had to do. It didn't happen, so at least if we know what we got to do, let's go and do it next time. And as I say, they all leave this room absolutely 100% ready for the next game.
Do you think that's key to getting them mentally attuned? Because you said it was mental tiredness rather than physical tiredness in the Gateshead game.
Yeah, I think anyway, all teams are going to get mental tiredness. You know, we're competing against each other, and normally the two teams at the top, given the number of points we've both got, are normally like 10 points clear by now. You know, so it's a great season for concentration for all the way through. Obviously, there's other teams fighting for playoff places, etc. And then both the teams at the top have also got to be, wary of playoffs and that. So you can't, neither team can be that disappointed, you know, or show their disappointment or feel their disappointment if they don't win the league, because they got to be ready for the playoffs, of course, which is another great way of getting there if you can. So it's a concentration. Of course, the best way to get promoted is automatic, because you know then there's not the chance of extra time, penalties, you know, little things that might go against you with three other teams competing. So we've never changed from day one. We're going for promotion. That's what we've done every week. We've not consolidated. We've not said, well, playoffs will be all right. You know what I mean? we've always said, look, we've got to go for that automatic spot, and if we've got the right characters and we're doing the right things, then we'll have every chance.
Bouncing back from disappointment hasn't been that hard to do this season with this group, and okay, 0-0 home draw's not that disappointing.
Yeah, exactly.
But think back to the Eastleigh game at Warden Road where they didn't put in a performance like
right.
you wanted to.
Yeah.
Have you seen a lot of sort of mirrors in the last week in terms of the attitude of the players to want to?
Yeah. Listen, you could trust this group of lads. You know, if you needed to go to war tomorrow and you needed to pick a group of lads, you'd pick this group of lads. Honestly, you would. I'm not just saying that either. They're right behind each other. They're right behind the philosophy. They're just, you know, we've got them now. Now it'll be, hopefully, the other team hits the post and it comes out, and you hit the post and it goes in. You know, you always get that little bit of luck or bad luck, but you sort of make your own luck because they are. I know they're determined to do well for each other as well as for the club and for the management, and of course we're putting in a lot of effort for them to make sure that they get over that line.
Murray Morgan-Smith seems to be stepping up his training. How far away is he from being around the squad on a match day?
Yeah, he trained yesterday and looked okay. It'll be just the sharpness that you get from games like normally you'd get it in pre-season where you have 6 or 7 games before the season starts. So, but he could be handy to have around. I don't think Pelly's too far away either. So those two are pretty close. Hopefully when Dickie gets right, then we'll have him very soon.
Any indication of how long?
Well, we're juggling with the transfer loan deadline, you know, which is at the end of March. So we got a couple of weeks yet before we're not going to panic, but before we need to make a decision. But all three believe, and the physios believe, that they'll all be flying fit by the time we have to make that decision.
See, March is a big month. It's the penultimate month of the season.
Yeah.
It starts with your game in hand, which could put you 4 points clear again. That is it was always a game that was going to have a great incentive on it, regardless of what Forest Green did on Saturday. But
it's a massive month. You're right, it is, but it always is anyway. And of course, you have to prepare. I suppose the same we've mentioned going to war. Not that I've been there, but I can imagine. I've read books, seen films, and you've got to be prepared. And you've got to be prepared, and you've got to think, well, if that happens, you know, you've got to have scenarios. What happens then, and if this happens, we've got to do that. And, you know, you just, even within games, you have to be aware of what's happening elsewhere as well sometimes. And so, you know, we have to plan and be ready for all eventualities. And if you've planned right, then you should get your rewards.
Does it feel like the running is now starting?
The running started now, yeah, it has definitely, and you know, it's the good thing is, because I've had a lot of run-ins as far as the end of the season run-ins are concerned, and I've been there. So I've been to war. You know, I've been to the places that some haven't been, and the lads can trust you because they know that. You know, I've been in playoff situations, I've been in automatic promotion situations, and win, lose or draw, at least, you know, people listen because you've been there, unlike you not being at our game.